I started off my morning with fasted cardio. I did Stairmaster, and slowly, I upped my time up to 50 minutes. As you can see, I made a mess. Super sweaty, but that's when you know you're doing something right. I then drink coconut water in the sunlight. I love coconut water, especially after a workout. It's natural electrolytes, and it's so nourishing and refreshing. I love journaling. I think it's an amazing tool, and every time after I journal, I feel a sense of peace and release. It's like I can organize my thoughts and have more mental clarity. I think journaling is an amazing tool no matter who you are or what stage of life you're in, and I highly recommend you try it out. For my meal, I had 2 pieces of Ezekiel bread with hummus and sprouts and 2 hard-boiled eggs. This is a clean, nourishing meal. It's not super dense and it gives me energy. I then went on a walk and I came across a group yoga session, and this inspired me to do some functional movement. When I was on my walk, I was listening to my own podcast. At the end of the day, I think the true measure of success is if my content actually helps me. If I am able to help myself through my content, then that means it's successful. I think that if I put content out, but I'm not able to apply it in my own life, then I'm not living in alignment with my values. And this has been something that I've been working on. Sometimes I find myself being a hypocrite because I create content and I put it out, but I'm not living in alignment with that. And so when I listen to my own content, my own podcasts, that actually gives me the messages that I exactly need to hear in that moment. And that's how I measure my success. And that's something that I'm so grateful for. I highly recommend you to make voice memos of you documenting your life and sharing your lessons. This doesn't need to be public. This doesn't need to be a podcast. It can simply be a voice memo. Just something for yourself that you can listen to. I think that you can listen to a lot of different people's advice, but when it comes from you, it hits different. It hits like no other. So I highly recommend everyone to just pull out their phone and create a voice memo of you in that moment, sharing those lessons with your future self. And by the way, if you wanted to check out my podcast, the link is in the description below. When I create content, it always reflects what I'm going through in my life, because I don't make content for you guys. I make content for myself as an output, and I post it because if it can even help one more person, then of course I'll do that. I'm doing this for myself, and if I can document my journey and help others along the way, then of course I'll do that. The next morning, I went on a run. Running is something I've recently been integrating into my routine. It's important for me to balance functional movement with lifting, and running is amazing for endurance and also mental strength. I really enjoyed running, especially outdoors. I find that I'm able to get a different experience when it's not just on a treadmill. And it's really important for me to train for life and be functional and light on my feet. I think that you can have bodybuilders that are huge, but if they can't run and be light on their feet, then what's it really worth? Essentially, what I'm saying is that I prioritize training for life, functional movement, endurance, stamina, and being light on my feet overall. For me, balancing both worlds of functional movement and lifting is the sweet spot. I then did some cleaning, I did some laundry. Cleaning is a way for me to organize my thoughts. I believe that my external environment is a reflection of my internal state. And so when I clean externally, that also reflects my internal state. And it's a way for me to organize my thoughts and clean my mind. Again, I made a similar meal, 2 pieces of Ezekiel bread with avocado, healthy fats, clean, nourishing, and light meal. It's important for me to eat the same meals around the same time to put my body in a state of routine regulation. I highly recommend you integrate this into part of your routine. I then finished off with some watermelon. Usually it's actually not good to eat fruit after your meals, but I really wanted fruit. So yeah, it was really good. I then ended off with an evening walk. I'm so grateful I can observe the waves. I think it teaches us so much about our own life. The importance of flow and momentum. When we are in periods of stagnation, it's often because we're not moving. We're not moving mentally and physically, holistically. The root of all suffering is stagnation. The best way to gain momentum is simply to take action. And we see this in life. Everything alive has flow, it has momentum, and we are alive, we are free-flowing beings. We should also be in a state of flow and momentum through taking action, through living. That can only be done in the present moment. Once you live life with an open mind and an open heart, once you realize that you can only be truly free in the present moment. Whatever happened already happened, and you have the power of choice to decide if you're going to let it build or destroy you. Using your power of choice, you decide where you direct your time and energy. What you feed will grow. Where you invest your time and energy is what will grow. So identify the areas that you want to grow in your life and nourish them through directing your time and your energy towards those areas. Because again, what you feed will grow. Another important lesson that I've learned through the waves is that everything in life is temporary. Just as the waves go up and down, sometimes we are at a high and sometimes we are at a low. And this teaches us a very important lesson: to not depend our internal state on external circumstances. Because if we do that, our internal state will constantly fluctuate depending on external circumstances. Don't be controlled by fleeting things that come and go like waves. Rather, maintain a sense of inner peace, stillness, and values, so that no matter if life is at a high or at a low, you come back to your internal state. Once you understand the temporary nature of life itself, you truly understand how important every moment is and how important presence is. And ever since I've understood that everything really is temporary, I no longer measure my success by numerical outputs such as money or followers. Rather, I measure my success through my impact and presence.